Hey, Wember World Entertainment, and of course we're in 2026 now, which means Supergirl arrives this summer, and we're starting to get more information about what we can expect from it, and it's bizarre and not good. They've also released a couple of new posters, and they are trash. Even though this article tries to hype this movie up and says how great these posters are, they're not great at all. They're quite frankly just an AI generated mess, to be honest with you. But it's what we're going to get with the villains. That's right, villains, not villains. That even this article is kind of going, this is a bit weird and a very different take. So we'll dive into it. We do hear from James Gunn as well, describing the movie and stuff, which, by the way, everything he said about it, which isn't new, it's old, it's just terrible anyway. So, again, remember, this article is a bit of a fluff piece as well. It does try and say, like, the hype for this movie is unbelievable, even though it's not, and we know it's not. But let's dive into it. So it says, the first trailer for Supergirl was released last month. While it ended up being a little overshadowed by the Avengers Doomsday teasers, no it wasn't, there's still plenty of excitement among DC fans to return to the relaunched DCU and see the Woman of Tomorrow in action. Is there? Show me where that excitement is, especially seeing it was one of the most disliked trailers in, 24 hours or something? It had more dislikes than Superman did in, I think it was a month. So, that it still didn't get ratioed, at least at the time of its release it didn't get ratioed. I don't know about now. Quite frankly, I don't care. So, Warner Brothers typically skips the Super Bowl, so we don't bank on Supergirl getting a big game TV spot next month. However, more from the movie is bound to be revealed in due course. Since when does Warner Brothers skip the Super Bowl? They've always dropped trailers at the Super Bowl. The likes of the Godzilla and Kong movies, trailers dropped at the Super Bowl. Superman dropped at the Super Bowl. So I don't, not Superman, the full trailer or anything like that. It was that weird, stupid crypto yoke. But they do tend to drop trailers at the Super Bowl, so I don't know what they're talking about there. So it says, for now, we have a new promo poster featuring Millie Alcock's Maiden of Might, along with a full shot of Crypto, the Superdog. The former is definitely wallpaper worthy, but the bigger news today is an update about Supergirl's villains from the test screening leaker viewer Aeon. Now, this is where it starts getting funny because, as you can see, they're saying, like, the wallpaper is or the poster is definitely wallpaper worthy and stuff. It's like, yeah, no, it really isn't. But wait till you hear what is the idea with the villains now. So, the Insider recently took to X to reveal the bad guys in the movie are a bunch of losers who kidnap women for use as sex slaves. Yeah, you heard that right. So, it says, this is a major change from the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic, in that Krem of the Yellow Hills killed Ruthie's father and shot Crypto with an arrow, prompting her and Supergirl to embark on a revenge mission. Along the way, Krem joined up with the Skeleton Raiders, but they weren't slavers. Instead, they plundered planets and murdered innocents. So, now, the one part about that with the Crypto being shot with the arrow, I wouldn't be surprised if that is in the movie, because we do have that shot in the trailer of Crypto lying there with Kara kind of petting him and crying. So I wouldn't be surprised if they remove Crypto from the movie. By the way, I wonder how that went down with test audiences, because Superman did have a scene where Lex Luthor, and I think it was meant to be the Engineer, beat the living shit out of Crypto in the Fortress of Solitude, and the test audiences absolutely loathed that scene, so they changed it. He's still in that fight with the Engineer and stuff, but in the original scene he got beaten to a pulp basically. So I wonder if they do shoot him with the arrow in this, and whether or not they'll change that. Probably not, seeing as it seems to be in the trailer. So The change appears to suggest that Krem will want to make Ruti, or perhaps even Kara Zor-El, a sex slave. A dark alteration to the source material that might not sit right with some fans. Now, what fans is the first question you'd have to ask. Fans of the Tom King comic? Yeah. So it says, now here's where James Gunn said this stuff, where everything he says is horrible. So DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn recently likened Supergirl to Guardians of the Galaxy and said, "It's based on the Tom King book, but it doesn't follow it religiously, but it has a lot of the core that's there." So you can see it's very much like Guardians. You don't say. You couldn't tell that from the trailer. The fact that it's based on Tom King stuff and the majority of that is, the core of that is still there, that's all horrible as well. So yeah, you're kind of like, it's just so horrible. And then Supergirl, DC Studios' newest feature film to hit the big screen, arrives in theaters worldwide next summer. From Warner Brothers Pictures and stars Millie Alcock in the dual role of Supergirl / Kara Zor-El. Craig Gillespie directs, blah blah blah. So you're hearing that they've changed what the villains are. So Krem is going to join up with these Scarlet Raiders, and they are kidnapping women. Now, the part where it says Krem may want to make Ruti, or perhaps Kara Zor-El, a sex slave. Ruti is meant to be like 14. So that's a child. There has to be serious questions starting to be raised with all of this stuff, where all these writers and directors and stuff seem to be taking these stories with kids in these type of directions. It's one thing if one movie did it and did it like X amount of years ago. It's starting to happen all the time now. The fact that we've just had Stranger Things end, and what was the whole story for it? Oh, it was actually all about Will Byers coming out as gay, and that they knew that was going to be what they wanted to do from the very beginning, which means you're specifically writing a child to come out as gay from the very beginning, when the guy himself was only around 12 years of age. That's weird. And now we're hearing that Krem of the Yellow Hills may want to take a child, which is Ruti, to be a sex slave. What is going on with Hollywood? Now, we know they're all a bunch of degenerates, but this is getting weirder and weirder. And let's face facts here, James Gunn doesn't exactly have the best history when it comes to the whole kiddie stuff. Just look at his old Twitter stuff. So to start shoving that into this movie, and people still will argue, yeah, but it's not a James Gunn movie. It still is part of James Gunn's universe. He is the one who pushed all of this stuff forward. We know he's directed a few scenes in this, that he showed up on set and started filming some scenes. We know that his word is where the book stops, because he is the CEO of DC Studios. So yes, these would have been his decisions. So that sounds horrible. As for these posters, yeah, the crypto one is nothing. By the way, why did someone watermark the crypto poster? I think that's hilarious. But it's a nothing poster. It's just like a silhouette. But then you get to the Supergirl poster itself, and it's just like, what the hell is it? Again, it's like they just got a bunch of stickers and just stuck them all together. It's just like, what is this? And again, they really are just trying to make her out to be Star-Lord. That's the same type of things they did with the Guardians poster. So yeah, everything's just pointing to this thing being a disaster. So we'll wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a new full trailer soon, but who knows. But what do you guys think of this story about the villains, what they're actually becoming and what they could be doing in this, and what do you think of these god-awful posters? Let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and hit the hype button and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.